Hey everyone, and welcome to this Dota 2 beginner's guide on how to play Axe. In this guide, I'll be taking you through all the fundamentals you need to know to get started with Axe, the prototypical off-lane position 3 hero in Dota 2. Axe is one of those heroes that is very unique because he brings a very unique skill set to Dota. Essentially, he is extremely durable, but core, he's an initiator. Most importantly, he can disable enemies in ways that is really unique to the game. He has a spell immunity piercing Berserker's Call, which is essentially an AoE taunt that forces enemies to attack him. That allows him to synergize with his third skill, Counter Helix, which does pure damage and it pierces spell immunity. So enemies attack him, and for every attack, he has a chance to basically do AoE damage to everyone around him. Counter Helix also kind of works well with, Berserker's Call, I should say, works well with things like Blade Mail, items that benefit from enemies attacking you, reciprocating damage back. He also is well known for his Culling Blade ultimate ability. Not only does it pierce spell immunity, but it allows you to basically just delete enemies off the field of battle, and it refreshes its cooldown if you secure a kill with it. Battle Hunger is an interesting ability as well because it allows you to basically debuff an enemy with damage, slowing them, allowing you to catch up to them, while also increasing your movement speed itself. Okay, a very utilitarian skill. With regards to itemization, there's a few things we need to know about Axe. First, when we talk about starting items, generally speaking, there's a few different ways you can approach this. Most people start with some regeneration in the form of Tango, Healing Salve, and Quelling Blade. And then what they do is they rush a Vanguard, specifically the Ring of Health component, which allows them to sustain the lane. Then what you do is you complete the Vanguard with the health booster, and you become extremely difficult to kill in the early game. Once you get your Vanguard, you begin cutting waves, which I will describe in a clip later on, so stay tuned for that. And it basically makes you a very formidable opponent in the early and mid game. From there, you're going simple brown boots. You don't even need to kind of upgrade them to anything. You can go phase boots if you want, but brown boots into Blink Dagger. And then once you have your Blink Dagger, you're building a Blade Mail, and once you have Blade Mail, you're building into Aghanim's Shard. This is basically the current Axe's complete build. If things change, I update the guide, but essentially this is the core build for Axe. And Axe is one of those heroes, if you're a new player, he benefits from the idea of having a very simplistic build. From there, your next itemization is all dependent on the game situation. If you need to survive and you're against a lot of spells, generally speaking, Black King Bar is an excellent choice because the last thing you want to do is Berserker's Call and then just explode because a Laguna blades you, right? You also have options to go Lotus Orb if you need to basically reflect any spells or remove any debuffs with the Dispel. You have Pipe of Insight, so if they have a lot of magic AoE damage on the other team, not only does this increase your magic resistance and your HP regeneration, it also provides your team with additional resistance and also allows you to kind of create a shield block. You also have Crimson Guard if you're against teams that like to right-click a lot. This is a natural upgrade from your Vanguard, which allows you to essentially, reduce the amount of incoming damage on your team from right-clicking enemies. Shiva's Guard is fantastic because it essentially allows people to slow their attack rate around you while also doing a significant amount of magical damage in the AoE around you. It also gives you significant armor. Note that this kind of counteracts your ability to Berserker's Call Counter Helix, but in the late stages of the game where you want to be kind of like a debuffing presence, especially with the Shard, which basically provides a negative attacking debuff to enemies. When you kind of combo the two together, enemies' damage potential is greatly reduced. So in some ways, you counter yourself with Shiva's Guard, but at that point in time, your position 3, your position 2, and 1 should require that the enemy team be debuffed so that they can finish the game off. You don't rush a Shiva's Guard, you end a game with a Shiva's Guard. You have Assault Cuirass, which basically increases your armor, reduces enemy armor and structure armor by 5, while increasing the attack speed of all your allies. The armor boost to Axe is wonderful as well. Heart of Tarrasque gives you a ton of sustain, a ton of strength. Be aware that when you build a Heart of Tarrasque and being an Axe, you might be targeted with a Spear Vessel very often, so be aware of that. Heart of Tarrasque is kind of in a weird spot right now. And finally, if you're 6-slotted and you're rich and you don't know what to do, you buy an Overwhelming Blink. It provides you with some added damage, some extra health, but overall, a super luxury item that you really should be getting all the time. with regards to skills. Okay, what you want to do is you want to take Battle Hunger at level 1. The reason for this is because you want to use it to harass the support. You never cast Battle Hunger on the carry unless you're securing kill while they're trying to run away, because as soon as they get a last hit, the Battle Hunger is dispelled. So it's important that you put it on the support, who has to force a deny in order to take the damage potential off them. From there, you focus on getting counter helix as fast as possible. The reason for this is because it provides you with a ton of added damage early on. It allows you to cut waves very successfully when coupled with your Vanguard. You are going to be taking a value point in Berserker's Call early, which allows you to basically call anybody when you have the kill potential. Moreover, the important thing about Berserker's Call is that it provides you with 30 additional armor, which will might spell the difference between living and dying sometimes, honestly. If you're taking a lot of damage and you're kind of on the run, instead of just like simply taunting people towards you, you can Berserker's Call and just keep running, and the added armor might be the difference between living and dying. Okay, from there, you max counter helix. You take your ultimate culling blade at the proper intervals. You are taking your talents at the appropriate intervals as well. And battle hunger is the last thing that you maximize. With regards to the skill builds, I'm doing kind of like general best practice stuff right now. If you are new to the game, I do recommend you go mana regeneration and movement speed. The reason for this is because it generally allows you to be a little more mobile, and it doesn't punish you as much with mana regeneration and things along those lines. Health regeneration and Berserker's Call AoE. This is just a very safe build. As you become more accustomed to the hero, you'll often pick magic resistance in games against many magical heroes, which is greatly increases your survivability. And once you get comfortable with Culling Blade and with Counter Helix, you might want to take these skills as well in games where you know you can lock down enemies and secure a lot of kills. Every single talent here is viable. It's just a matter of getting more familiar with the hero and getting comfortable with which you want to pick when. One thing I want to show you is that a lot of new players, when they get in towards like a creep wave and they want to clear it with counter helix, they Berserker's Call to taunt them. But what you can do is you can actually right click on any enemy hero anywhere on the map, and it'll actually bring the creeps directly towards you so that you can counter helix them. It's basically a taunt. Basically what you're doing is you can click on enemy hero at any point on the map, and it'll force the creeps to attack you specifically. Otherwise, you can actually just get ahead of a wave and the creeps will automatically attack you. But for whatever reason, if you reset the aggro, all you got to do is right click on an enemy regardless of how far they are, and the creeps will attack you, okay? It helps you conserve mana so you don't have to waste Berserker's Call, and it allows you to essentially push waves very effectively. In the following example, I'm going to illustrate to you a number of important concepts to understand as Axe. The first thing is knowing your kill potential. I'm full health at level 7, he's at half health. I know I have Culling Blade and Berserker's Call, okay? He has he gets spell immune with Blade Fury, but I do know that Berserker's Call pierces spell immunity, so he's forced to attack me. The important thing I want you guys to focus on, and I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it, note how the green health bar, the Juggernaut's health bar, has a faint black line. Once that faint black line is gone, that allows me to Culling Blade. The reason for this is because those black lines count the enemy HP. Each light black line accounts for 250 damage, and each thick black line represents 1000 HP of health. So basically, the kill threshold of Culling Blade is exactly 250, and it acts as health removal, so it's not affected by any sort of resistance. The result of that is as soon as that little black bar is gone at level 1, you can utilize your Culling Blade to kill the enemy, because it is pure HP removal. Now, what I want to illustrate to you here as well, we're actually going to follow the axe here. What I'm going to show you here is we're going to show you how to cut waves. So I take a second here because we have a kind of a catapult here. So I take down these waves, and what you're going to notice here is I actually move on the other side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to position myself at 21, and at 51 the wave comes. This is cutting waves. So I have a Vanguard, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attract the attention of these mobs, or the creeps I should say, and I attack the neutral camp. The result of this is they're all attacking me, they're doing almost no damage, and my counter helix allows me to effectively clear both. This is one of the key advantages that Axe has. It allows him to basically farm the jungle very effectively, and I'm pretty sure this Dark Willow is going to feed here. Yeah, I get the kill there as well. So it allows you to basically take not only just the creep wave, but the jungle camps as well. So I clear this wave as well. I'm sure I creep cut again. I come down here. Here are the creeps. I attract them. And what I do is I don't just clear them. I bring them over to a camp. The reason for this is now I'm basically jungling and clearing the waves at the same time. Meanwhile, I'm forcing enemies to respond to the fact that my waves are being pushed under tower. In the following example, I'm going to show you how to use Blink, Blade Mail, and BKB to good effect with the Berserker's Call. Essentially here, what's happening is my Medusa, my primary carry, is getting gone on. I blink in. Now, what I want you to see here is all these enemies are taunted onto me. This is a 3-man call, and every time they attack me, I'm doing reflected Blade Mail damage back. Also, every time they attack me, I get an opportunity and a percentage chance to also do a counter helix to them. What you'll also note is they're also being debuffed by my shard effect, so their attack damage is being reduced as well. This is why you want to be in the middle of the fight. Moreover, Snapfire is ulting on top of me. I use my BKB, which allows me to not take damage through any of that, which would have completely destroyed me, okay? So it allows me to basically survive in that given circumstance. In the following example, I'm going to illustrate to you how you can use Axe to come back from near impossible games. We're down 17k, we have an AFK Pudge, we're basically 4v5 in a team that has a massive advantage, but I'm an Axe, and I know that I can do damage and I can surprise enemies with my abilities. I'm stunned, I'm locked down, but I'm tanky as hell, I'm not dying. Look where this fight goes, right? Look where this fight goes, right? I refuse to go down, I'm broken, I get in there, I get a call here, right? We're going to Culling Blade him, get out of the way, we're going to barely survive because I'm tanky as hell. We're going to do little Shivas, this guy's in, I kill him too. Marcy comes a little too deep. We Culling Blade her as well. It's not over yet. Why? Because I'm an Axe. As you can see, I did so much at low HP. We blink. They get a little stun on me there. They get fortunate. We call them. And what do? You know I'm going to dunk them, right? She's tanky as hell. Doesn't matter. We get the dunk. We completely change the game. We get an ultra kill on a team that was 17k up on us. They're only 9k on us. That was literally 4v5. That is the power of Axe. I was at low HP the entire time, but I was able to finish the kills and make the team come back from a near impossible deficit. Thank you so much for watching, and a very special thank you to all of our wonderful subscribers. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next Dota 2 video.